That's why you don't play those kinds of games.
I feel like I would have been good in the Mafia.
I don't think so.
So this is what's crazy. I saw Mike Tyson at the airport. He was on my plane. He was in first class. I was like, the fuck,
You
Mike?
know, he beat somebody up in first class. Yeah, but if you're Jon Jones, how much longer do you want to keep fighting? Is it your legacy's already made? Is it just about money? Is it the money fight? If I was him, I would fight Alex. You beat Alex, retire. That's it.
David was like, yo, what would you do if he beat you up? I'd be like, yo, I guess he just owns the company now. I guess he's the new boss.
Now that I think about it, what would that look like?
What?
Legitimately. Like, let's just say I got into the ring, you fought him, he beat you. How do you live with yourself?
I don't. It becomes, well, no, I do. Actually, here's what it is. I live with myself because I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know you were fucking Alex Pereira in there. I didn't know you were fucking a professional fighter.
Find the excuse. I like it. I like it.
No, because I know where I stand.
Okay.
As far as because I do this a lot. I spar a lot of people. I know where I stand. So for someone to beat me, they have to be really fucking good. And if someone had beat me there, it's like, what's a good example of this? I only get frustrated if I know that I should have won.
Okay.
But with fighting, you don't have that in fighting. There's no like, oh, I should have won, because it's like, you get hit, you get hit.
You sure?
You don't have that in fighting.
I don't know. I think there are some times in which you can be in the midst of fighting, like, you know what, I should have won this. Because there could be moments in which there's a misstep. Maybe you read something to be different.
Yeah,
like, for example, if somebody's trying to set something up, right? And you
but for them to set something up, they have to be, like, you're not going to get a beginner that could set someone up.
It can happen by mistake. It could happen, because remember, if there's people who, if you were to watch like maybe about like 95% of street fighting, people are just, you're throwing hands until like you get tired. But there comes a point where, I don't want to say muscle memory, but if you're just here, you build somewhat of a rhythm in the midst of that. So then there could become a point where you're doing all of this, and then now it's like
it's not how it works.
Somebody
if you look at like any like sort of professional fight, there's never ever like you got lucky. There's never like you got lucky. It's always, I made a mistake. It's never, oh, you got lucky. I hate when people say, oh, you got lucky. That's how you beat me in a fight. It's like, no,
I agree. I would say, but there are moments in which there could be an element of luck that plays a role.
No,
I don't think it's
I made a mistake. So for example, like Mayweather never made a mistake. Mayweather never made a mistake. And there was never like, oh, you got lucky. There was one fight with Marcos Maidana where it was close.
Yeah, that was close.
And then Mayweather goes, no, let's run it back then.
Right.
Because he's like, he didn't like that. But for him to get like slept or something, it's very different. Like that doesn't happen by like luck. It's not a lucky thing.
Yeah, like when Zab Judah got taken down and he was doing like the whole dance before he went down. It's like you misread, a punch, something like that, which is fault. That is your fault, 100% your fault. But then that kind of does open up an element after the fight where you're like, hey, if I didn't misjudge you, kind of like what happened with MVP when he fought against Douglas Lima and he took that very first L.
Yeah.
He sat there, started to gloat just a little bit. Misread the distance, and then bam, slip, kick, or I should say the kick,
leg kick, yeah.
And then bam, you get caught up. And if to my knowledge, I don't think from Lima's fights prior that he had ever done that particular sequence. So you get caught with something. It's like the unknown unknown. Not to say that, next time that you fight, you're gonna win. Which, although in MVP's case, he did get the W. But that's like somewhere where after the fight, you go, man, you got lucky. We got to run it back.
I think you only get lucky if the skill level is close enough. Like the term of luck is like.
I agree.
If he was like almost on my skill level, he has a chance to catch me. But when there's levels to it, right? Like, I'm never gonna catch Floyd Mayweather. As much as I would love to think it, if me and Floyd Mayweather were to box, the skill level is so, like, the gap is so big, I would never catch him, even if I got lucky by accident. There's no chance for me to get lucky there.
Okay.
I think the luck only happens, or like quote unquote luck only happens, because still technically I think it's a mistake, but the luck only happens if the skill gap is close enough so that there's like competition. Like, I can't get lucky and beat LeBron James in basketball.
Okay.
But a Steph Curry might get lucky and beat LeBron James in basketball.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Or like maybe like a shittier basketball player, like a J.R. Smith might get lucky and beat LeBron in basketball, one-on-one. But Rene Lacad, because the skill gap is so big, I would never beat LeBron James in basketball, no matter how quote-unquote lucky I could get. There's no amount of luck that could save that.
In that kind of game, there's a bit, but I'll push back just to create like a devil's advocate argument where in basketball, like let's just say if it was all jump shots, because you kind of have to create a scenario where you have something to where it's even keel, which still that because you're creating that handicap, it doesn't, set up the game to be relatively fair and even. But if you have it to where it's like, all right, you get ball first or whatever, you're just throwing up shots and they're going in, and it's not losers out, it's winners out. That way you never get the ball. There's an element of luck that gets, exists there.
Yeah, but
to where it creates, like for example, in soccer, where if we're having a penalty shootout, it's just you choose this way, you choose that way. So if in the event I kept choosing opposite of where the best goalkeeper in the world chose, I could get lucky.
I think that works for like 1 point. Like if I'm playing LeBron.
No, right. It should only work for 1 point. But there are bizarre moments in which.
If I'm playing LeBron to 1 and I have ball first.
Right.
And it's jumpers only. Or no, if I just have ball first and I can do whatever I want and we're playing to 1, I can get lucky and maybe win. But the second it goes to 7, I'm losing every single time. I'm not scoring on him 7 times in a row.
Yeah, like when you lose possession of the bat, it's over. Yeah. And I think in most elements of life where you have an incredibly skilled individual and just like a novice is going to lose every single time.
Yeah.
But if there is an opportunity for like luck or something that never happens, because whenever it's like hand sanitizer, it wipes out 99.9%. Well, there's that 0.01%, and I think that 0.01% probably exists in everything. It's not going to be routine. It's not going to be commonplace, but it can happen. Doesn't mean that it will happen. Yeah. Possible, not probable.
Anyways, it didn't happen.
Yeah,
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, well,
I guess we'll never know. Did you see the Jake Paul and there was a lot of fighting not this weekend, but like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
we're a little late on catching up, but Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. What are your thoughts on that? I watched it. I'm like a little upset about it, but
yet another genjutsu scam from the Paul brothers. And I'll say this much: I already knew, and I said going into the fight, it wasn't going to be competitive outside of the first round. Mike had 2 minutes to get the job done. Yeah. If he didn't knock him out in that time frame, it's over. Because the longer the fight goes, the more it benefits Paul. And then furthermore, Mike didn't look very good in the fight against Roy Jones. We had those damn eyes on because we ain't seen Mike fight in over 15 years. Then you see him go and step inside the ring, even in the training of everything. Yeah. Mike looked nice for a 58-year-old.
Well, like my biggest thing.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, but so I put money on Mike to knock Jake Paul out.
Oh, that was a bad investment.
Just because I like the odds. Mm-hmm. But after seeing this, I was just it was like it felt wrong to watch it, especially on like a big stage like that. And it's like buffering and shit because Netflix service crashed.
Netflix, it was bad. It was bad. Even in the midst of this fight here, right? Like, I think it was there was a moment in which Mike had dodged, it was the overhand right that was over there, but he dodged another, like what looked like a super, super hook coming from Jake Paul. He was able to dodge it. And there was a moment where there was an opening for Mike to where he could have returned a punch back, and he pulled the punch. And people were saying, well, that's how they knew it was fixed. Like, dude, he's 58. Like, he got caught with a left coming out. And if you just look at his legs, I think people were so caught up with like the fist throwing. Look at his legs.
Yeah, it's just so sad, bro.
Look at his legs. He's not on like Jell-O spaghetti kind of legs yet, but you can see it's just not there. I'm not, a fighter by any estimation, but knowing what Mike looked like in the 80s, in the 90s, watching those fights in total, then watching him here, it's night and day, two completely different people.
Yeah. And
I think it was very foolish for folks to go in and have an expectation that he was going to perform a certain way. Because you could always hope, like, oh man, there's a good deal that you can get on if the payout if he were to go out there and win, or perhaps if he goes and he knocks Jake out. But there were some legitimate people who thought he was going to go out there and just completely outclass him. And I think that was a foolish way to think about it.
I think it was the spectacle of it. Like, I look at this and I'm like, man, this is so sad because I see Mike Tyson getting hit, but it felt like a sparring match. That's what it was. It was an 8-round sparring match.
On television.
On Netflix.
Well, Netflix.
Most streamed sporting event of all time or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people like wanted to see it because they wanted to see Jake Paul lose, and people love Mike. And, Jake Paul usually, he fights dudes that aren't necessarily on a skill level, so he'll knock him out. Mike Tyson is the first person he's fought who you can say is way better than him boxing-wise, but the age is a motherfucker, man.
Right. In fact, the age gap between the two of them is older than Jake himself.
Yeah, it's like 30 years, right?
31 years. Jake's 27, Mike's 58. Like, the age gap is larger than this man's age. Like, it's wild to me. And the issue that I have with it, and I've always kept this same stance on it, is Jake has talked about from when he started, he wants to be a champion in boxing. Yeah. Which, it's great to have those aspirations to want to be there, as everybody should. The problem is the route that he's taking to go there. Nothing that you're doing is going to legitimize you. Outside of the fight against Tommy Fury, which you ended up losing, you beat Mike Perry, which really, in my opinion, the only other impressive win that you had. But then the issue with Mike Perry is you've never been that weight before.
Yeah.
So then you're constantly in an odd position for Jake.
With this, I'm kind of like, does he want to be a boxer or does he want to be like a spectacle?
I think if he wants to be a spectacle, this is perfect. This is perfect.
No one's ever, this is history made, him versus Mike Tyson. It's 100%. A crazy historical event as far as boxing, like most watched boxing thing.
Yep.
But it's not boxing. It's like a spectacle. It's like having a really popular TV show, where people want to watch it. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. I want to see him fight. He wants to fight Canelo. I think Canelo's going to kill him. But we'll see. I don't think Canelo even wants that fight because he's fighting a way bigger guy.
I wouldn't want that fight either. Because it's you have to, and my take on it was for Jake, in my opinion, if he wants to, and ultimately he doesn't need, the populace to now buy into what it is that he's doing. Who gives a damn at this point? Like, he could do whatever the hell he wants. People are going to tune in regardless. Yeah. But if you want like the boxing purists to buy into what you have going on, to where you legitimately can challenge for a title and it's fair and it's not just based off of, the champion will get the biggest purse they've ever, received. Because call it what it is. If Usyk versus Paul, you're probably getting paid, if not the same, but maybe even more than you fight against Fury again. So I think what he should do is call out a top 10 heavyweight right now. I think Daniel Dubois had said he wants to fight him, but that's not going to happen. I don't think the contract's going to go through. But that would be perfect.
I think Jake is scared to take that one. I think if he
said on social media, I'll take the fight, but I don't think he would have been prepared for that. But that's something where I think that works. You have that. You have Joe Joyce. You have, believe it or not, he's no longer in the top 10. Some people rank him there, but he's not in the top 10 no more. You can fight Deontay Wilder. I think he'll win that fight. That will definitely legitimize you in the eyes of boxing.
I don't think he beats Deontay Wilder, too.
No, because the thing with Wilder is Wilder's just, I'm going to last as long as I can till I catch you. But now he's a bit older, so it doesn't work as much. I would stay away from him.
Times.
You have a Anthony Joshua who's way higher up. But if I was Joshua, I wouldn't take that fight. Now, because you have your eyes set on some other stuff. There's other heavyweights that's there. The big Chinese man. The
one that knocked out Deontay.
Yeah, Zing, I forget what it is.
Crazy.
But
that's
he's also
racial.
out there as well. No, it's Zing. It's
I know,
something with that.
I forget. It's the guy that knocked out Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. But he, I think it's double Z. I guess I'll call it. Or triple Deontay Wilder's case. But if I was Jake, I would want to fight against a top 10 heavyweight just so that now when the time comes for the heavyweight champion to accept my challenge and put the belt on the line, the bulk share of the Boxing Association won't look at me like it's frowned upon.
Well, I think it's a combination of like, well, one, you're never going to make everyone happy. So that's one thing Jake got.
Correct.
Like, even if Jake could win the heavyweight championship of the world, but then people would be like, it was rigged. They did it for money. Like, they would say some shit like that.
Oh, absolutely. But they say that all the time.
There's the second part is like, who can he find that's like there's a risk to money, to like attention split there.
Right.
So it's like I could get these fights where big money with very little risk, like an MMA fighter, like a Mike Perry, or I could fight this other guy that no one knows, right? Like, or is relatively unknown. That's more dangerous for less money, which doesn't make sense. Because right now with Jon Jones, the same weekend, Jon Jones fought Stipe. Still looking like Jon Jones.
Right.
He didn't struggle at all, bro. Didn't struggle at all.
Kicked the ribs off that, man.
Yeah. You know the craziest shit about that? He was doing that kick. He kicked Aiden Ross with that the day before. Jon Jones is like a really like, he has that MJ, how MJ is a little bit of a
calculated,
psycho. Yeah. Like psycho.
Yeah.
Because on Aiden Ross, the day before, he goes, I think the spinning back kick is the most lethal kick. And then he kicked Aiden Ross with that and then knocked him down. And then sure enough, he goes into the fight, used that exact same kick and knocks him out with that kick.
Don't you wonder what was going through his brain before he threw the kick? Like, oh, you know what? I did this last night, right? Oh, fuck it. Why don't I throw it? And then bam, and then you win the fight. Like, I would love if there was a way that we could know what's happening in somebody's brain.
Look at this. This is the day before. No audio.
Oh, there we go.
Can you get the side-by-side? Just go on Twitter and pull up the side-by-side. It's like there's a side-by-side of him doing it to Aiden Ross and him doing it to Stipe. But he did this is the day before. This is in New York.
Right.
The day before, he just goes Jon Jones, Stipe, Aiden Ross. Yeah. I know, that's a crazy. Let's see. Damn.
Yeah, that's the kick there.
He did the Trump dance right after.
Mm-hmm. He's actually taking...
Oh, yeah, look at this.
Okay, there's the kick. That's a jumping.
Oh, is this not going to show? There's one that's like a side-by-side. Oh, yeah. But yeah, he was just saying like this is a powerful kick. Like this is the most powerful kick in MMA. We'll scroll, see if we can find it.
There's a lot of power you can generate on that too.
Yeah. Let's see.
From the spin to the hips to the thrust of the foot forward.
Yeah, from the ring to the screen to the pen to the king.
By Jon.
Oh, we heard it back. He heard it back. That's it.
I think the spinning back kick is one of the most powerful kicks in MMA. Oh, yeah. You don't want to get kicked by a horse.
He was practicing, he's talking about it all week, and then fucking does the kick. Weirdo. But anyways, back to the main point, like, even Jon Jones, now they're like, yo, you're ducking Aspinall. Because he wants Alex Pereira next. And Alex Pereira's a motherfucker. He's a scary dude.
Right.
But I think Jon Jones is just going to maul him.
What if Pereira, this is, what, the third weight class? He would have gone up in, what, year and a half maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years?
He'd be technically going for the first, like, three weight champion in the UFC.
Right.
But I think Jon Jones just fucking grabs him, takes him down, beats him up.
That's a better fight for him versus
and it's more money too, because Pereira's a bigger draw than Aspinall.
Right.
So it's like so Jon Jones kind of has the same issue. He's like, I don't want an Aspinall fight because I can get a Pereira fight. I make way more money. It's way less dangerous. The guy's like my size. Like it's a way like he's same age as me. They're both 37 years old. Like it's a great fight for Jon Jones. Very little risk. Whereas Aspinall, it's like dude's bigger, younger, like heavier hitter, more like can mix it around a little bit more. It's like a lot. It's a lot more of a dangerous fight with way less upside. So I think Jake Paul it runs into the same situation. That's what it is. But I don't know. He tweeted something. He was like, "Yo, I went from being the youngest champion in the UFC ever to the oldest one on the roster, and then still undefeated." So.
Yeah, it's
you can't even deny that man no more, bro.
No, you can't, and I think it for him now, because if you remember, with like some episodes ago, we were talking about like how many more fights does he have left in him to go, right? And for me, I think just with the gaps between fights happening often, it's probably best if you fight much more frequent. Let's just say if it's twice a year, 6 months apart, whatever the case may be, and he's still in tip-top shape. Yeah. I think it works. You could say on top of things, maybe you have like 3 more fights at maximum. But for him, your legacy is already cemented. So how long do you want to continue to be like the baddest man in the octagon? Yeah. Because there's always going to be a badder dude who's coming up.
Yeah, Father Time is undefeated.
Right,
bro.
It's undefeated. So do you want to, end up being like a it sucks to laugh about it, but like an Anderson Silva where you overstate your welcome.
Yeah.
Yoel Romero was just fighting a couple of days ago. He just knocked somebody out in some.
He knocked out a plumber, bro.
Yeah, but had to be.
That dude was my Uber driver last week.
He knocked out a custodian or something. It looked like they were fighting inside of like a classroom.
It was like a weird
What is
venue.
going on? Where is this man from?
Yo, imagine you're like, you know what? I gotta make some extra money to like provide for my family. You know, maybe I'll do a fight, and then they match you up with Yoel Romero.
Yeah, it's like because it was the most random thing I've probably seen this whole month.
All right, no, you missed it. It was back there, down.
Yeah,
lower,
it's
lower.
up there. It's up there.
Right here.
Dude was just out of nowhere, just fighting.
No, lower. Right there. Knocks out opponent in dirty boxing.
Yeah.
El Romero has just got a knockout in the.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, just laid this dude out completely, bro. I'm so. Yeah, it was at this angle, so I didn't even know there was a lot of people there. I'm like, where are they fighting? Because at first, I thought they were recording on like cell phones and stuff. I'm like, what is going on, bro?
Nah, bro.
But you gotta appreciate that he does it for the love of the game. Like, all right, Yoel Romero's just gonna fight because he just enjoys fighting or whatever the case may be.
Showing Jon Jones. He was there.
Oh, he was there. Wow. So if you're somebody like Jon Jones, is that Francis? No, it's not. But I was about to say he had the same head shape. But the with somebody like Jon Jones, how much longer do you want to keep fighting?
This is here in Miami.
Yeah.
Dirty boxing. Oh, okay,
Damn, bro.
Yeah, but if you're Jon Jones, how much longer do you want to keep fighting? Is it your legacy's already made? Is it just about money? Is it the money fight? If I was him, I would fight Alex. You beat Alex, retire. That's it.
But they were also saying Dana should just give Jon a fucking huge bag to fight Aspinall.
Yeah.
So then you have like a changing of the guard moment.
Yeah, it's like a passing of the torch.
Because if he fights if he fights Pereira, then there's kind of like cool. Like, whatever. We kind of knew what was going to happen. But if he fights Aspinall, we know, like, where he's at. So Dana should just give him a bag, 25 M's or something.
Yeah, but then, funny enough, my thing is, like, because John's a fucking, he's a lunatic. Mm-hmm. So let's just say he does the fight. You drop the super bag. He beats Aspinall. Now what? Now what? So, but then Pereira. At this point, does a Pereira fight even look attractive?
Yeah, no, but no one. The odds are going to be crazy on that. I think Jon, because he is a lunatic, though, he like sees that and he wants to fight because
that's the problem.
He's an underdog. No, he's an
underdog. He's never going to leave.
He's an underdog with Aspinall. Like he's like I think the first time in his career or something, or in like
at least on paper.
At least decades. On paper. He's like a minus. Yeah. He's like plus 150 or something. It's still close, but he's like a plus 150. And Jon Jones, like he's probably like. He's angry about it. He's like, how am I an underdog? Because against Stevie, it was minus 400, which makes sense. For him to be an underdog plus 150, he probably looks at it. He's like, yo, he's angry about it. So, I don't know.
Because the one thing I hate seeing people past their prime still just sticking around. And because you're chasing the dragon.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the thing for Jon Jones is like, yo, you could retire on top. Your legacy's already, it's been set. Go and get your big money fight. Cool. You win that. And it's no guarantee that you're going to win, but call it what it is. You're Jon Jones. You don't bet against Jon Jones.
I think Jon Jones should go the Mayweather route. I think if he wins that fight, be like, yo,
then you just start doing exhibitions and things of that nature. Right. I think so too. But then the only issue that exists with like the Mayweather thing is that you still have the people who buy into the exhibition fights as if they're legitimate fights, but there's no way you could please everybody. Yeah. But that's kind of where the Floyd Mayweather problem is, because the promotional portion of it going into it, because he's a sensational promoter, but going into the fight, you buy into it like, oh man, this about to be like when he fought against Hatton, when he fought against De La Hoya, when he fought against Maidana, when he fought against, and then you finally make it to the fight. It's like, it ain't that.
Yeah.
It ain't that.
Yeah.
It's like when it was him versus Logan Paul, and going into the entire fight, when Mayweather Logan Paul, I'm like, yeah, this is foolish. This is going to be classic. Hang around until the end. Make sure it's clear that I done won the fight, but I'm not going to try to go and knock him out or anything. And then I started buying into the fight through the first 2 rounds. I'm like, all right, you know what? I think he might actually go knock Logan out. And then he stopped.
No, I think
So,
Logan
like, okay.
just pushed out though. Logan kept hugging him. I watched that fight. He just kept
Logan
hugging
kept
him.
hugging him, but then
I'm like,
there
bro,
were so many
How
openings.
are you hugging? This dude's way smaller than you. How are you fucking
The
scared?
logic
and hugging
behind
him?
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because of the size difference.
I think Logan just didn't want to get knocked. His goal in that fight was to not get knocked out. That was his win.
Right.
His moral victory was like, oh, I stepped in with Mayweather, didn't get knocked out.
Yeah, and then they started talking after the fact, like, yeah, I won the fight. I'm like, come on now, what are we doing? Like, you were in the fight.
We don't gotta pull it up, bro.
We
It's fine.
watched
We're
it.
not
Like,
pulling it up.
we're not. It's not gonna work. Like that. And going back to like one of our early conversations about these spectacle fights, I still think it does more harm than good for the sport. In the grand scheme of things, because although financially you're generating a ton of money, you're bringing in so many eyes, but people are now more interested in the spectacle than the actual, fighters coming up. But then that's also
It's all just it's all the show,
right?
bro.
Because it's always been that way. To where if you're somebody who's very marketable, you're able to generate a lot of eyes. You should be able to be in the situation where you get paid the most because that makes sense. It's a
Look at the Drake and Kendrick beef. So that was like a spectacle, right? Like everyone was going for a while. That was the only thing people talked about on the internet. This Drake Kendrick beef, the rap thing. Now it's gotten weird because he just sued the label. He sued his label because for like defamation and stuff. Because I guess he's claiming that he's losing money because like he's getting called pedophile on a song and was released under like Universal, which is like the label that manages Kendrick Lamar. So because of all the money involved, like it's the same exact thing. I think we live in a world where it's like all spectacle based. What are your thoughts on that? That's crazy. Like suing the label, it's a weird one because it's like suing him.
Because they released the song against his approval, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no, they released the song, but he's claiming that like the label they put some motion behind it.
Okay.
To like inflate the song bigger than it should have been. And then because of that, it's like a song, like, it's like they're spreading, he's pretty much saying, it sounds super weak sauce, but he's like, yo, you're like promoting this song that's saying bad things about me, and it's like defaming me, and you shouldn't be doing that. He's like the kid that like starts a fight and then loses the fight and then tells the teacher. That's what it feels like.
Okay, interesting. I mean, ultimately, the song was, it was a Kendrick song that they had, and it's the label that released it.
It was the Not Like Us song.
Oh, okay. So if that's the case, really interesting.
So
what was that song?
So it was the Not Like Us song. It blew up, like it went crazy.
#1 song of the year, really.
Yeah, it's one of Kendrick's biggest songs. And then Drake was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, you guys are promoting this song, calling me a pedophile. That's not cool. You're defaming me."
He can. In the court of law, he might be able to go and win, but in the court of public opinion, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't really make much sense, but in the realm of artists, it's your lifeblood, because if the people turn on you and they're no longer interested, it's over for you. But I think ultimately that's kind of like the waving of the white flag.
Took it now.
Because if there was anything else that kind of proved that, hey, you lost, it was that. And it's over essentially for him in that realm with the beef. But I don't think it's completely finished for Drake. I still think he's still amongst the top artists.
That's a weird one. I don't know. It feels like a crash out. That's crazy. Losing and then suing someone because you lost. I don't know if it's like it's a weird one, bro.
It's that's why I think it's like a waving of the white flag, because how do you now go not recoup, but how do you now recover and get the people essentially back on your side in the realm of the beef? Because he can drop other projects and everything, but they're always going to remember 2024, you got cooked.
Yep.
Like it's almost like with the Ja Rule 50 Cent situation. It don't matter what Ja Rule does afterwards, you'll always remember, 50 Cent cooked you.
Yep.
So you'll have to move on from this, go see what you can do, but it truly is essentially like a fall of grace from where we are right now. He can bounce back. He can do different things, but
it's a weird one. I'm like one of the biggest Drake fans, but I see this, I'm kind of like, man, this is like, I don't know, this is sad to see.
It's probably disappointing because I'm sure there was like a mystique of being relatively bulletproof to a certain degree. Because like if you take into account where his past beefs, the most notable one with like Meek Mill, with the one with Meek Mill, he won that one.
Yep.
So now it's like, all right, you won the last one. Now you go up against Kendrick. You not only lose, for all intents and purposes, got absolutely obliterated.
Well, no, because he went against Pusha T, and then Pusha T.
Oh yeah. It was,
like,
Pusha was after Meek Mill.
Yeah, and then like, that one he just didn't
right.
respond because he was like, "Yo, I'm not even gonna go there," like whatever, right? And then the Kendrick one was the one that was like because that Pusha T one was like, "Yo, Drake doesn't need to respond. He's like a bigger artist, whatever." The Kendrick one, he beat him at his own game, where it's like Drake will get you because he'll drop a hit on you. It'll be a diss track, but it's like they'll be playing it on the radio, and now you got to listen to the song. I think with the Kendrick one, Kendrick Drake, where he dropped the fucking hit
5 minutes after.
And then literally, now he's like Drake has to go everywhere he goes. You hear this fucking song.
Yeah, it's over. It's like, yo, you take your L. Funny enough, I saw Pusha T a couple of weeks ago too.
Really?
Yeah, in the airport. I was going to Dominican Republic with my family, and then I saw him walk by. I was like, Pusha T, and my brother was like, "Yeah, I just saw Pusha T." I'm like, "Oh, well, there it is." So I actually saw him in the flesh.
Random.
Yeah, it was so random. No. We was at the airport. I was getting ready to fly to the DR. He I guess, just came in from wherever, and he just walked by me, and I was like, you look a lot like Pusha T." But I'd say so that my brother, he's like, "Yeah, I said, yo, Push." He turned around, I was like, "Yo, what's up?" He said, "Got a dab," and I was like, "All right,
brother." That crazy shit to me is how people like this could just walk around like.
Yeah.
No,
because it's one of those because I think Push is he has enough notoriety within his like the genre to where if you're a fan of the genre, you recognize him. But if you don't, like if you're just a suit businessman, you'll be able to recognize somebody like a Hormozy or Patrick Bet-David or somebody walking in the street. But if Pusha T walked right by you, you not know because he's not necessarily commercial.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's more of those if you know, you know. So, because I remember in the realm of football, I ran into John Gruden when I worked at the airport 10 years ago. I'll never forget this. This is one of the best coaches, Super Bowl winner,
and he was just
all these other stuff, just casually walking around waiting for a flight. I had like a 4-minute conversation with him and everything. And it seemed like nobody else approached him. Nobody knew who he was. I saw Larry Fitzgerald in the Amex Lounge last year. And it's one of those things like, hey, if you know, you know. But
they're like niche. Yeah,
it's a niche kind of thing. Because if you're somebody who breaks through, like let's say if it's a LeBron
or Tom Brady,
it's not just the sports fans who will recognize you.
But I think at that level, you don't even go to the airports anymore. You just
no. Like funny enough, I remember I thought to myself for the longest, at what point do you like stop going like? With groceries, of course, you can Instacart. That's the kind of stuff ordered.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that you have to do in person.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna go and renew a license, you have to go to the DMV. You can't not go. So like somebody like Kevin Hart, where
how
before,
was he,
like what's the process?
There has to be a way where Kevin Hart can go to the DMV.
Right.
Or like maybe he could send like one of his attorneys to do it for him and get his license.
I don't know, because I remember when this was maybe
that's
Kylie
crazy,
Jenner,
bro.
I think it was, where she was doing something for her to get her driver's license or something when she was like turned 18 or something.
Yeah.
They made a big spectacle about it, where it was like, hey, did she go to the DMV, buy out the stuff, shut it down or something like that, just so she would be able to
when she went, was there people there?
Huh? I think they had it taped, if I remember correctly, but I don't think there was people there. Like she bought it out to where it was just
I
you.
think honestly the way you would do it is you would go to like a random DMV. So like I would go, instead of going to a DMV in Miami, you would go to a DMV fucking in the middle of nowhere, so that no one sees you.
Right.
I think that's the solution there. Groceries and stuff, that's weird. Like just being out in public. I don't know. That level of celebrity is crazy because like, what do you do?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to be at that point of fame and fortune. Like I think as I continue to age, I've gotten to a point where for me, really, I'd want to make enough to where I can, be comfortable, live, be able to just do whatever it is that I want to do. But I don't think I want enough, fame to where now I can't step outside. I think that kind of takes away from my level of freedom.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind quiet money. I just don't like loud money. That's a lot. That's a lot. Too much comes with it.
Yeah. And you run into a lot of issues. What the fuck?
Right, you do run into a lot of issues. Because imagine, like, okay, you go to the airport, you getting ready to go fly somewhere. If you're not flying, private, if you're just flying commercial, well, all right, cool. You get a regular seat somewhere at the airport, everybody recognizes you. Now people want to get a photo. You're creating a disturbance.
So this was crazy. I saw Mike Tyson at the airport. He was on my plane. He was in first class. I was like, the fuck, Mike?
He beat somebody up in first class before.
That's crazy. No, but I saw.
Yeah.
That's crazy that Mike is just at the airport, like, because Mike is like, he's almost like he's that level of celebrity.
No, yeah, he's there. He's there. 100%. He's there.
It was weird to just see Mike Tyson there at the airport, like on a plane. Same flight as me. Funny enough, it was from from Miami to LA.
Right.
So I saw.
Because it happens. Like there's still because there's a misconception where people just think, all right, you make a certain amount of money now, you're just immediately.
Well, I think with Mike, he doesn't really have money like that.
No, yeah, of course. I don't think he. Yeah, I think this is by far.
That's why he took it. He was like, "There's so much money here."
Set him free, and now because he's had massive amount of debts. If I remember correctly, he did file for like bankruptcy. I think twice or something like that. But overall, I wouldn't want to be at that level of celebrity. And really, I just think that you could live an affordable kind of life without having to jeopardize that kind of freedom. Because I wouldn't want to go out to go eat somewhere. Now you're constantly stopping, taking photos.
Who do you think gets recognized more, Jeff Bezos or Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson.
I agree.
Mike Tyson.
I agree.
Because Jeff Bezos just became like visible. Like he just started being in a situation where you could recognize him. Like Elon Musk is a personable kind of billionaire to where you recognize him in the street and stuff.
Well,
like
Elon Musk, I think Elon Musk, he's in movies, he's in TV shows.
Right, because like 15 years ago, you probably can say the names. Like who's that? Yeah. So if once you start to build like that kind of celebrity.
He has like 300 million followers on Twitter. It becomes
a problem, right? I don't think that's something that I want to do because that's just not a life that I want to live. Like you can't do the smallest things. Like hey, you want to go for a walk with like your family or someone.
I was thinking about that because I was like, how come like Jeff Bezos lives here in Miami, right? I'm like, how come like people don't see Jeff Bezos? What do you think he does? Like, where do you think he's at? He just doesn't exist in the public, like. If I was Jeff Bezos, I'd be going to every fucking Whole Foods, be like, I own this shit. Like I'd be walking to I would be walking into everything. Like they're building Whole Foods right here. There's one over there. Like I would just walk into places, be like, I own this. This is mine. You know, it's a flex.
It is.
I would walk in and start stealing.
Yeah. See that?
I would walk into a Whole Foods, start stealing, and see if they stop me.
Yeah, but then that end up becoming you creating even more problems. That because now you're just antagonizing the everyday man. Just trying to get by.
And maybe I'm just not big enough. Maybe I'm not big enough yet. But like I don't know. For me, when I see my office, I'm like, yeah, this is my shit. I walk in my office, I'm like, it's mine right here.
Yeah, but you should. I mean, it's your office.
Yeah.
You should be proud about that. But I think that's kind of where like social media and things like that kind of play a role because then you end up constantly comparing yourself, and comparison is the thief of joy. Because a lot of you know, for all intents and purposes, a lot of people's lives are okay. Like there's struggling that's out there for sure. Yeah. A lot of people's lives is okay, but you end up looking at somebody else like, you know what, maybe I'm not okay. But you are. Because if this was 50 years ago, they'd be dreaming to live, like your life would be considered relatively, luxury. But you constantly seeing somebody else doing it bigger, and you're like, okay, I think I might want to
owning shit is just cool. Maybe I'm just new to it. Like so I just bought a hotel.
Okay. You went in on a hotel purchase.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's in Mexico, but I'm thinking already, like, I'm going to take the jet there. I'm going to fucking go over there. I'm like, yeah, this is mine. Like, it's going to feel good, bro, to stay there. I'm like, it's mine right here.
I wouldn't do all that flexing.
I'm not going to do all the flexing, but, like, just knowing that I could walk in and be like, this is mine. I could ask for things for free. I could stay here for free.
See, that's great.
The whole hotel?
Well, it was like a group, but yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit. Going in a group. And go and get a hotel purchase.
So that was really cool. Nice. I'm so excited too because it's like
that's dope as fuck.
Dope as fuck. Cool. It's like 2 hours. It's not in America. It's in Mexico.
Right.
Because I can't afford. Yeah.
Tourist attraction location, Mexico City.
Yeah. No. It's I'm not gonna say where it's at yet because I can't reveal it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But there's big plans for it and all that, and it's within jet range. So like,
nice.
I wanted to make sure that I could get a hotel where I could fly, like take a jet there. But it's like the biggest flex. Get my family, hop on a jet, fly to this hotel
that you own.
Yeah.
Right.
And just stay there. It was like the awesome flex, but like it's such a really crazy cool feeling to own shit. So I can only imagine, like, I think this is why people get addicted to that, like those Jeff Bezoses and stuff. It's like, bro, he just wants to own shit. So I don't know, if I was him, I'd walk into a Whole Foods and be like, It's mine right here.
Some people just they love the game of constantly being able to acquire things. Other
Own
people
it,
are
yeah.
like it's one thing about acquiring. Others it's more about like the money. Some people it's about like the status, and then some is like, all right, you just want to build like that trigger word of generational.
I don't care about the status. What I realized, I really like just owning shit.
Right,
It
right.
feels so cool to own something. Like, this is mine, right? I can do what I want with this, especially when it's something cool like that, where it's like, it's a hotel, we're putting a restaurant in there, so it's gonna be like hotel, restaurant, we're gonna add some villas. It's gonna be sick, bro.
Yeah.
I'm so excited, but like, that's gonna be awesome because I could go there. So owning shit is just awesome. I would love to like own crazy shit like a fucking casino or something. I don't know how that
Oof.
works though.
Yeah. I mean that'd be great because they really are like money printers. But then my mind immediately, because being in New York, and my mind immediately goes towards, well, you know, you're gonna have to deal with some folks. You know, you're gonna have to deal with some folks who's come around. Oh, you guys making good money up in here. Nah, we want a percentage. You're like, well, what do you percentage?
Yeah, but I'll go Mafia on them.
I don't think you will.
I mean, I wouldn't
I don't
personally.
think you
I
would.
wouldn't personally, but like I would go Mafia on them in like the sense of like, you guys watch this show, the Sylvester Stallone show, the new one.
Tulsa King.
You seen it?
Yeah.
The new season.
Yeah.
You finish it? Mm-hmm. You see how there's like the billionaire dude? Mm-hmm. He fucked up. He should have hired some goons.
I mean, technically, he did.
Yeah,
It was Asians.
But he wasn't Asian, so he couldn't play the Asian
Correct.
game.
No, but that's where the issue lies, because if in the show, Cal Thresher, that was his name. In the show, great hat, by the way. I had to get the black cowboy hat, but he was in the business with the Asian, the Chinese mafia.
Yeah.
And the
terrible
problem,
Asian accent, by the way, bro.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
This show, me and my wife watched it. We just started laughing because it's like, it feels racist. Like, the dude's Asian, but he's doing an Asian accent. You could tell he doesn't.
Yeah, it was so bizarre. I'm like, you're Chinese. Y'all don't sound like this.
He sounded like
it was so
Nigerian. He
weird.
sounded like Nigerian.
Oh, what about Nigerian?
He said no, but like that's what I mean. Like, it wasn't like. Can you pull it up?
It sounded like an
What's the-
American.
just put like,
what was his name?
Tulsa King, Asian
Tulsa
guy.
King, Tulsa King, Chinese.
China, yeah.
Mafia.
Yeah, he's like, I told you to stop messing with me. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, what the fuck? No, it's not this.
That's
No, it's not
Bodie.
that.
Oh yeah, that's the guy right there. Yeah, that's the guy
Click
right
that. Yeah,
there.
click that.
him.
Yeah, click that.
Let's see. You hear his voice. Yeah, so that's Cal Thresher, the billionaire man or multi-millionaire. I forget.
Billionaire. He's like an oil billionaire.
Yeah.
What did you learn? That they're lazy. It's oil. Do you know why we succeed so quickly?
What the fuck is
That's
happening?
why we need to be ruthless. Because we have nothing to lose.
What does that have to do with
We have nothing to lose.
Changing our agreement.
We are changing our agreement. It sounds Nigerian, bro. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
We are changing our agreement.
I don't hear the Nigerian.
Wakanda forever.
Nah, I don't hear it. It sounds like an American impersonating a Chinese man. But I'm curious what his actual. Where is he from?
Yeah, what is this dude? Can we look
where
this
is
dude
he
up?
from? Who is the which actor?
Asian man from Tulsa King.
Well, I mean, there was a number of Asians.
You know our agreement.
Rich Ting.
Rich Ting.
Rich Ting.
Hey, you know,
all right.
I got a couple of Rich Tings.
That's your new nickname, bro.
Rich Ting.
Rich Ting.
Rene Rich Ting.
Can we look at a Rich Ting interview? I want to hear his actual
Rich
accent.
Ting.
I
All
swear to
right.
God, this dude's like,
Yep, born in Los Angeles, California.
Oh, boy.
He's a fourth generation Asian American. Fourth generation.
bro, so that accent, his parents don't even have
How-
that accent.
How?
Let's see.
In regards to that question, it kind of happened naturally and normally.
See, I told you, he sounds like an American impersonating a Chinese
You
person.
know our agreement.
So, but the thing with his character, so now,
It's gotta be racist, bro. It's
yeah,
gotta be racist.
so the rich thing with his character is that Cal Thresher ultimately is this. He's financing. They're in business, and because Cal has all this money, there's moments in the show where he's talking down
To him. Yeah.
and because you have the background of that being a gangster, you're in this mafia, you're in all this other stuff. It's like, yo, we're business partners, we're making money together, but it's only a matter of time before I can make this money without your financing. Hence why he started selling the heroin.
He tried to take over
and
it.
doing it, because once I no longer need your financing, you're out the game. So although you're like, hey, I got this money, I could be able to go and get my own goons and everything, there's no honor amongst thieves. It's only a matter of time before they can go and get this same sort of payout from somewhere else. And
That's
then
why
now
I feel like you gotta
game.
get multiple goons. You got different goons from different
Yeah,
places.
but then the problem is if these goons, you got this goon, you got that goon, you got this goon. If these two goons got problem and they recognize, well, you're the person in the middle, well, we're gonna eliminate you.
I don't know, man.
That's why you don't play those kinds of games.
I feel like I would have been good in the Mafia.
I don't think so.
Did I show you what we got coming over here? We got to be honest, out of this, I feel
It'd
like
have
I'm
been
more
over.
of a, after watching Tulsa again, I feel like I'm not even one of these, I'm not a Cal Thresh, I'm more of like a Dwight. I'm good at building a little team and earning money. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah, you're an earner. You're an earner.
And when it gets violent, I'll get violent, but I don't like it. I want to just
yeah,
earn
but
money.
I think you have too much. There's too much for you to lose, and there's too much. I don't think it works.
Yeah, let me send
think it
you
works.
the. Let me
You'd be a
send you-
terrible gangster.
You think so?
You'd be a terrible gangster because you're too out in front on
True.
things.
You're
It's a
right.
wrap.
You're right. I think I would have to be like
Because you in
behind
the
scenes.
realm of maybe American, back in the older
I don't
days
know,
when
bro.
they don't
Look at
touch.
Diddy.
No, because
Diddy was a gangster. He was in the front of everything too.
Diddy's a different sort of situation. Exactly.
What?
Look now, but I mean,
Yeah, but I'm
Diddy's
not
in
gonna
a
be
different
fucking.
situation.
I'm not gonna be fucking baby oiling people up.
But
you know?
Diddy wasn't messing with. It's on a lower level because he was essentially bigger than everybody who he had problems with, for all intents and purposes. And there comes a point where you could start encroaching on different territories, and that territory is bigger than you. And more often than not, you're going to lose that game. And again, you got too much to lose. Like if you were a bachelor, by yourself kind of thing, I think things could have worked. You got a wife, you got a kid, not a game you want to play.
But aren't all the I sent you the thing. I'm getting art in this office. It's gonna be sick. But my thing. Oh yeah, look at this. It's gonna be sick, bro. Come on now. That's gonna be fire in the office right here.
That's a good graphic. Lorenzo's head is the only one that actually looks go okay. TJ, they kind of his head is too big for his damn collar.
It's very
Lorenzo's
Mafia.
one is perfect. Lorenzo's one is perfect. Keep his. Everybody else they gotta find different.
It's already on the way, bro.
Yeah, make it work. Damn,
It's
that's the
ready
one
on the
that's
Already on the
shit.
way.
Right on
Yeah.
the way.
Pain.
Yeah. Look at
Yeah.
that. That's gonna be cool, bro.
Yeah.
Be hanging up in the office like this.
That's a good one for Lorenzo. But it's a great graphic though. But
Because I watched those and I was like, yo, man, I can relate to Dwight, but you're right. I'm in front of everything.
you're in front of everything. It wouldn't be a good idea.
But it worked for Diddy.
I
But
mean,
if he wasn't baby oiling people, he would have gotten away with blowing up people's
no,
cars
but
and
then
shit.
he could have gotten away with a lot of those different things, but he kept moving wild. Like for example, like the freak offs and then everything, and then furthermore, he was also in media talking crazy as well over time. The best example I could probably use is somebody like a MC Hammer, where he has ties for like 30 some years. You over here dancing, people would never think this dude is, but his brother was really the big head honcho, but MC Hammer could just point and somebody could go like that.
Yeah.
And you have the power, you have the influence, but it's not in a situation where it's like, yo, I need to be seen. I got to be in front of things. I don't think for your personality, it'd be a good idea.
Valid. But I feel like if I could
They
play
take
it
you
off.
down.
I think I play it off real innocent. It works. I don't know. I see billionaires. I'm like, yo, you think Bezos has goons? He just doesn't tell nobody, and he's unsuspecting. So you're kind of like, oh, he would never.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think so.
Because then you
could
got
have
enough money.
people-
You got enough money. You can move like
Right.
that.
It's like if you're hiring security, because ultimately, like there's some, if you hire security, the security have to have the understanding of, I will die for my employer.
Because
right?
I'm thinking, even if I had like goons like that or like mafia,
Right.
I would have like a backup team that has eyes on the mafia's family. So if like dude was ever threatened me, he's like, "Yo, you think you're the boss?" I'd be like, "Man, I got eyes on your. Is that your wife right now at the park with your 2 kids? Your call, homie." And then what are they gonna do? They're not, unless they're absolute like psycho.
No,
then
the
they-
smart thing to do in a situation like that is be like, all right, cool, I back off, I value those people's life until you run into the person, like in what De Niro said in
Yeah.
Heat. Never get involved in anything that you can't walk away from in 30 seconds or less when you feel the heat coming around the corner. That's ultimately what the life of a gangster is. You have to be willing to walk away from things. So what happens when you threaten this individual and they're on some, oh, that's my wife and kid, damn, that's a shame. They lived a good life. Go ahead, they call your bluff, then what?
That's rough.
You're
Yeah.
screwed. Now,
Yeah.
granted,
You
in a
got no
situation
leverage.
like that, if you're willing to invoke that out on somebody, you also have to open up the door for them doing that to you. So what happens when you're trying to negotiate with somebody? You're like, nah, this is how it's gonna go. I got eyes on your wife and
It's
your
like,
kid.
I got eyes on yours and you
and
got
they
eyes on mine.
some. Well, hey, this your mom, right? And now what? Then what
Nah,
happens?
but that's not a fair trade. With that one, I'm like, go ahead.
Yeah,
My
but
mom's
remember,
old, you're
there's
cut,
no honor
bro.
amongst these. Like, okay, they're not going to be looking at, because y'all all at the end of the day, you're,
I'd be like,
you're
call the
doing
bluff.
nefarious intent.
Yeah.
So it's a situation
that's
where
a crazy life, bro.
It is.
That's a really stressful,
because
crazy
you spend
life.
your entire life looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, that's a
and
stressful,
it's not
crazy
because
life.
although there's a great financial upside, I
This is
remember
so
from
fire.
the what's his not Vicar Musso, Anthony Casso, who used to be the head, underboss of one of the 5 families in New York, where they interviewed him when he was in prison. He was like, yeah, life as a mafioso, you get the best of foods, you get the best of wines, you walk everywhere, you get whatever it is that you want, you have respect and everything, but you're constantly looking over your shoulder. Like your entire life, you looking over your shoulder because you never know who's gonna get you.
The more I think about it, I don't think I'd be good at mafia. I think for me, I'd be better at like building my own country. So this is my thought. Yeah. So here, like, if I have Elon Musk money, right?
Okay.
Why don't I? Because if you look at Elon Musk, he's richer than some countries.
So indeed he is. So you're looking at it from the perspective of you made your billions. Now that you have these billions, now it's where this life begins.
I'd be better.
Not on the ascension.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
Okay,
I don't think I'd be a
okay.
good gangster because like to do that stuff to get up, I wouldn't be good at it. But to be the leader of a country or something, I think it would be better for me.
Okay.
And like to have because you're a leader of the country, you have your own military, you have your own
Right.
stuff, and it's like you have a lot more bargaining power because like your people can't even come into my country. You fuck with me, I'm just gonna let it rain fire on you.
Yeah, but then you also still kind of run into you run into an element of the same problem, but I don't want to say on a lesser scale, because the countries are just as corrupt as the mafia and everything of that nature. And then you almost have, like, let's just say if you create your own country, y'all generating millions upon millions to billions of dollars. Somebody's gonna want to have to go get a taste of that. And then now you have to essentially try to go and fight back, and they'll look at it from the element of, okay, is this country only strong because this person's the leader, or can they survive without him? If they can survive without him, okay, we'll take him out.
Well, I just look at like
Inherit
countries
the
and
rest.
like, good example, like organization, like the cartel, right?
Right.
They don't really fuck with people. Like they're not fucking killing people in like tourist locations in Mexico.
Right. That's too much heat that's over there.
Because
right.
if they do that, right,
Right.
if the United States is like, all right, we're gonna hunt the cartel down, they fuck themselves. So now you have billions of dollars in resources coming down your
Right.
fucking neck, and like you're cooked. You're cooked. So those people just leave it alone because like we don't want no smoke like that. So if you're a country, you have more like a little gang is not gonna fuck with you as a country. But I guess the United States is also a different. That's like you can't really use that to compare because they're a massive country.
Because it always depends. Like if you look at what was going on in was it Colombia with Pablo Escobar?
Yeah.
So you deal with that where you have some of the element of the country that benefited because he gave back a lot.
Yeah.
But then there's an other element where you're getting absolutely hoed and screwed because the influence that exists there from him is preventing you from being able to go and earn or live your life because it's constant wars and shootout. So there's always, in order to say, you say yes to something, you say no to something else. Yeah. And ultimately, you kind of have to be at peace with the fact of like, of course, not everybody's going to like you, but somebody's getting screwed over
no matter
due
what
to,
happens.
the actions of, how you live. And personally, when I was a kid, I used to always look at it like, man, you know what, that life of crime, mafia, gang, whatever the case may be, although it seems as if there's a slight alluring portion that's there, I don't think the risk is worth the reward. I should say the reward is worth the risk. Because there's only, 2 ways that you exit. That's either you're in jail or you in hell. Like it's always one or the other. It's death or you're going to prison. So
I feel it.
I'd rather
that.
not.
I'd
rather not. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Anyway. But y'all let us know in the comment section if that's something that you would consider. Also, have you watched Tulsa King? Let us know what your thoughts are. I am the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the chiseled Adonis. He is a serial entrepreneur, Filipino Prince
Tycoon.
Rene Lacad. This has been another episode of Assiduous.
Is that
Is that plant